In today's video, this is going to be my first ever league race slash social race on F1 2025. PSGL is hosting invitational races to celebrate the launch of the new Formula 1 game. So, I signed up and I'm going to be attempting to start at the back of the grid to win the race around Spain. Let's see how we get on. Here we go then. We have the hard tyre as our starting tyre, going for mediums around lap 17, lap 18. But we have the lights coming on right now. It's going to be 5 lights and lights out, and away we go here in Spain, starting P20 and trying to do the last of first challenge for our first league race slash social race. And then immediately, what was that? Immediately, absolute carnage, 400 meters into the race, and a car being sideswiped into the wall. Somehow we've avoided all damage, all carnage for our own car in the opening sector of the race, finding ourselves in P17 that turns into P16 as the McLaren was off the road. And yeah, just trying to compose ourselves because it's absolute carnage right now as we come through. This is carnage here. And we're looking around the outside. Nah, he's going to squeeze me off. And you can hear my live comms. It turns out that he wasn't going to squeeze it off. He did leave us the space, but it's quite risky to put your car in the outside line there, especially when the gravel is immediately on the outside of the track. In slipstream, looking to the outside, going to dummy to the inside line, and then take the position nice and calmly, late on the brakes, up into P15 as we enter the final sector of the first lap of the race. You can see Lucas and Tom Robert up ahead. Tom Robert, our teammate in this race, so it's pretty critical to get up ahead of him so we don't have to be held behind him in possible pit stops. Successful first lap. Nice, clean first lap for us as well. You can see Tom is putting some pressure to us as we go down the straight, but he backs off a bit and decides not to go for a move in turn 1. You can see Tom up ahead. We actually have Tom ahead and behind. Very nice. You can see his car is lagging quite a bit, and we actually made contact with his rear wing there as I got a bit caught out with that as he sends it down the inside. Go on, lad. And now we're going to be trying to capitalise and get past the Alpine as well. You see Tom goes defensive. We're going to use the open road. We do lock up the front left tyre, but we're able to get a phenomenal exit, switch to the inside line, 2 wheels on the grass. Late on the brakes, stay committed, nice and tight over the inside curbing, leave the racing room on the exit for Lucas. And now we're running side by side through turn 9 here in Spain, and we pick up an invalidation warning, but we were able to get the move done around the outside. Inside line now, he's still trying to run it around the outside of us, but we're able to get the traction and move ourselves up into P14. Up ahead of us, carnage is starting to ensue as we're now looking down the inside of Tom, but we're not far enough for there, and we do have to back out of that, otherwise we would be putting our car in too risky of a position as we're now going through on lap 5 behind Tom and trying to attack him down the inside. A bit of a lag from his car, and we're able to be drawing alongside him, but with the traction running down the hill, it was not quite going to be in a position to claim the apex. He goes a little bit wide there, but he's still going to be hanging the car side by side as we run from turn 9, trying to go around the outside, and you can see there's a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. I don't think that was really his doing. I think it was his car lagging around that made that contact, so nothing bad from Tom there, as we're now still going to be in P14 as we're looking around the outside there and trying to do a switchback up and over the curb, getting a little bit of wheel spin as we came in and out of the dirty air, and unfortunately that put rest to that overtaking opportunity. Tom is doing a fantastic job of defense, in my opinion. F125 does have height and dirty air, but that is not going to be stopping us now as we're trying to get down the inside of him. A really well executed racing line there. Late on the brakes for him, late on the brakes for us, but we're caught in the dirty air of Leonardo on the traction, fighting the rear of the car, looking around the outside now of Tom here. A bit of contact in the apex, but again, I think that was his car lagging, and we're able to get the position done and dusted. Lovely jubbly around the outside here on lap 11. Lap 12, we think about diving down the inside, trying to see how Leonardo would react to the car being there. And he reacted very nicely. In fact, he was going to give us the space, And now we're trying to do a switchback here, and we're able to get back on the traction nice and early, claim the apex, running side by side through turn 8 here. Now running up the hill, we're not going to be in a position to go around the outside of him, and we tried through a switchback but made a little bit of contact with his rear wing, but put halt to our opportunity, trying to dive down the inside to sort of distract him in the mirrors. What did kind of work, he ran a little bit wide, but not wide enough for us to take the opportunity. Skipping on into lap 16, we decide to make the pit stop. We decide to pull the pin, to do the undercut. We have one car up ahead of us who's going to be doing the same strategy, but this is going to be quite difficult to get these tyres to the end. I've done, I think it was 10 minutes of practice before this race. Also worth adding, this is on preset setups, so we are on the maximum downforce preset setup that the game can offer. What initially started with about 48 wing, and we upped it to 50-48 in the pit stop, but the tyre deg is going to be really critical, and I don't quite know what my average tyre wear on the medium should be, as we have performed the undercut on quite a few cars, as we're now on lap 18. And Kian is one of the leading cars in this race, so we've been able to go from what was like P13 in the race to effectively running up in the P5, P6 position, but we've still got a long way to go to make these tyres last, as we are coming behind Nelson as he's in the Williams. But even more carnage is going to ensue. Look at this, and this is absolutely like out of Cars the movie there, and somehow we avoided all of that. Slammed on the brake and was just able to avoid the Williams and take 2 positions. Ching, lovely jubbly. As the final of the overcutters, Leo has now came into the pit stop, and he's like 3-4 laps fresher tyres than us, so it's going to be quite difficult to hang on. You can see on lap 23, I'm just managing the gap to the cars ahead right now. I know that they're fighting a little bit, so I'm just keeping my battery high and also managing the gap so I do not destroy my tyres. That front left tyre wear is really critical. You can see 25% already now, and it's going to be quite close to about 80% if I'm not careful by the end of the race on the tyre deg. So you can see me lifting in high speed corners, just making sure that I don't overstress the tyre, as now we're coming down into the final sector. Playing it out again, you can just see running the car into the corner, not overstressing the tyre, and now running through the right hander just very smoothly, not really making any steering wheel corrections in the corner, just focused on minimal friction, additional friction I should say, to the front left compound to minimise tyre wear. You can see Tony, who has got fresher tyres, is going to be right in the slipstream of us running down into turn 1. We have the overtake button enabled. We go a little bit defensive, but he never quite drew alongside us, as now Kian is now running wide in turn 1. But you can see the dirty air at play. Masses of understeer. Although I would like to fight the cars ahead, I know it's not going to be sensible to try and get these tyres to the end. And if we fight, there's a real risk that we would end up getting a puncture. And now, this is, to be honest, a bit of a mistake for me. I stayed defensive in this corner, and it stopped Tony from having a clean air, and that allowed Leo to go around the outside of Tony. So again, it was my fault, because it would be better for me to have Tony behind us, who's on more similar tyres to us, whereas Leo is on much fresher tyres, and the fresh tyres make a huge difference around this track on this game. So now we have quite the task on our hands, the defending from Leo, to ensure that we can hang on to the provisional P6 position in this race. Coming down into the left-hander, you can see the gap was pretty stable there, and now on lap 26, just again keeping that gap stable to Kian so we can minimise our tyre deg while maximising the DRS down the straight and keeping a bit of slipstream to hold the cars behind us in the dirty air and keeping P6 for as long as we can. Leo now is trying to look a little bit down the inside, and we run a little bit wide of our apex. You can see the traction he gets just even in that one corner. He's almost able to draw alongside of us, as now we are really starting to suffer our tyre deg. Cars fighting up ahead, but we're not able to take advantage of that opportunity with the Mercedes on lap 30 of 33. He's ran wide again, and maybe we can smell an opportunity, but you can see the dirty air here. We get caught in the dirty air. Massive understeer, and that's put us on the back foot versus Leo. Leo's gone around the outside, and now there's going to be side-by-side on the traction zone. Into the right-hander. You can see he throws the car very deep, and there's contact in the apex, and now we have lost the position. We tried to tuck back in underneath, but I misjudged that a little bit and made contact with the rear of his car. And now DRS is going to be open, and in these situations it's so critical to not end up losing multiple positions, as now Tony is all over the back of us, and I'm going to hold my hands up. I made a mistake here. You can see we're going to push him wide on the exit, and you're going to hear my live comms in that situation right now.
I think I probably forced him a bit wide there. Tony, so apologies to Tony there. So I pushed him a bit wide on the exit.
You can hear my instant reaction was saying sorry, because yeah, I did push him wide. It was my fault. I'll explain in my outro what happened there. But yeah, on lap 32, coming on into lap 33, cars ahead have a penalty.
Oh, Leo got a penalty.
And what I didn't know at this time, until I got told in the live stream chat, that there's additional car up ahead that has a penalty, so we need to focus on finishing as close to this leading pack as possible. As you can see, my tyres are absolutely destroyed as we're coming through here. Minimal battery now. It's all about just maximizing lap time. We've done a new personal best in the first sector of the lap of the race as well, and that shows how much tyres we were saving earlier to try and get them to the end. In all honesty, we're probably over saving. You can see 69% on that front left, 70% on the rear left as well. So I think we could have pushed the tyres by another 10%. So that was a mistake on my behalf. Like I said, I only did minimal practice, so I did know how far the tyres could go, and a lot of it was guesswork, as we do a new personal best in the middle sector as well, showing how much more lap time we had inside of the car, inside of the tyres. You can see Leo punts the Mercedes up ahead. At least it looks like it.
Very interesting driving standards.
And you can see, because it looked like from my point of view, he just punted the car, but I don't know what happened, truly. So with that being said, we finish up in 4th.
Lovely. P20 to P4. Lovely jubbly. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Lovely jobby indeed. And yeah, I did really enjoy that, and I look forward to doing more league racing on F1.
Hey, it's me! I've gotten taller.
So there we go, P4 in the end of the day, and very much enjoyed myself working my way up through the field, and I'm looking forward to doing more league racing on F1 2025 as we move forward and staying involved in the competitive scene. So with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you have a fantastic rest of your day. I've been Brendon Leigh, and I'll catch you next time. Grazie, ciao ciao, bye bye.